How's it going, guys? David here with a really quick video, but it's one about a pressing matter that has been on my mind, especially just recently with the release of a big tentpole movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, which I just got done doing my spoiler talk, which is why my voice is a little worn out. But literally, before jumping into doing my spoiler review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I was actually browsing about here on YouTube, even on some websites, but mainly on YouTube. And I noticed that some reviews for Alien Covenant were already going up. And the movie's not due for almost another 2 weeks. And this actually brought up this little issue that I'm going to present here in this video, which is mainly an opinion piece, because I know that making this video is not going to change things, but it's something that I think should be brought to light, is that are press screenings starting to hurt certain, if not most, YouTube channels? Because I feel like these days, certain press screenings for some movies, especially some of these tentpole summer movies, or even prior to the summer, some movies that are leading into the year from like February or March, beginning with like the likes of Logan for this year, the screenings are so fucking early that we get the big YouTubers like Jeremy Jahns, Chris Stuckman, Schmoes Know, Real Rejects, all those guys, Beyond the Trailer, whatever. They go to these screenings that are super early, see the movie, and for some reason the company says, you know what, the embargo lifts, and just a couple days after that you can put out your review. They put out the review, which means that this review for the movie is available online for like a whole entire month or two. Well, not 2 months. 2 months is a little exaggerated, but about a month. Because I remember the Logan reviews starting to trickle in like, I think the second or third weekend of February. And the movie was not due out until like March 3rd. So then you get the little man, or little woman, that is now being kind of created by this little situation. And that's where I fall in. That's where I'll go as far as to say Angry Joe goes in, because he's not a press reviewer for the movies. That's when Struggle Nation, Ecomog Media Group kind of go in, because they're not part of the press. They have to see the movies Thursday night, paying with their own money, just like I do. Then we put up our reviews. And of course, some of us are better off than others. Angry Joe and all, they got all the made because they got millions of subscribers. They're set. But for struggling channels like myself, who are trying to make much more better reviews of the movies, but also put them at a timely manner where they go up at least like in Friday morning, which is where the movie officially comes out, but then you got those special screenings 7 o'clock the night before. We tried our best to kind of put a review then, and for the most part that would be just fine, because Jeremy Jahns, Chris Stuckman, all of them, they would put the reviews up like earlier in the week, so they wouldn't have that much traction ahead of us, so it was fine. Now for like Logan or even Guardians of the Galaxy and now Alien Covenant, the reviews go up so much earlier than that, that by the time the movie comes out, people are already set on what they want to do with the movie, whether it's to go see the movie in theaters, to rent it later on when it comes out on DVD Blu-ray, or just skip it altogether because, hey, look, they saw all these other reviews to kind of influence them and push them into making up their mind. Why in the hell would they watch our channel, our videos? Because they already got all those views out there, and our videos are just kind of like swamped there. And again, it's a situation where I wish that there was a change, but at the same time, I can't condemn YouTubers like Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Jahns because it's not their fault. I'm not saying it's their fault. Never said it was their fault. They're just doing their job. It's a job to them. It's their job. And I'm just using them as like a reference. They're not exactly players in this entire game. It's whoever, whether it be the studios, and more than likely it is the studios, but whoever runs these screenings and kind of decides when the time is to kind of put word of mouth out there. I feel like a stronger voice should be made for this, or a stronger case should be made for this kind of thing, because we're trying to kind of break into that industry ourselves, and we're also trying to be successful with our YouTube channels, to where, speaking from my own experience, I'm starting to lose a little bit of influence, or at least a little bit of encouragement, trying to do reviews for these big tentpole movies like Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever. I was setting up the camera, setting up my light to do the spoiler talk for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I was almost thinking, not necessarily thinking about not doing it, but just not putting as much effort or work into it. Same goes for my initial review of the goddamn movie. Why? Because almost everybody who owns a YouTube channel has already posted their review, because either A, they got that super advanced screening back in March, for Guardians of the Galaxy, or in the case of Logan, they got the screening back in February, or they live overseas, where for some reason they get the movie like 1 or 2 weeks earlier. Those reviews are already up. Why should I do my review? Because my review is only going to get like a handful of views, if any, within the not only within the first day, but within the first opening weekend. And being that it's a tentpole video for a tentpole subject, which is a summer tentpole movie that's going to be out for a while, and it's going to be super hyped up for about 2 or 3 weeks or so, and then it's going to drop because then guess what? Another movie comes out, and then we get the situation again. We're trying to kind of break into the mold and trying to be successful with our YouTube channels, but now we're being forced into try to create some other kind of medium. And I'm not necessarily complaining about that, because for those of you who are hardcore creatives, that is a good thing. It kind of fuels your creativity, fuels your imagination, and in a way, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it sucks because you really want to do proper reviews of this, but at this point, your options are either just continue doing what you're doing, which is basically what I'm stuck in, or try your best to become part of that press so you can get those early screenings. And that's a very difficult thing to kind of break into, because you need to know who you talk to, what to sign up with, what theater to go to in order to be able to catch the screenings, because God only knows if you live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere and you don't have a theater close to you that's able to get those advanced screenings. Or kind of invert the format and maybe talk about the movie in a different form, whether it be to dissect a specific scene or talk about a certain element, but not review the overall movie just in the bigger picture of things. Because hey, Jeremy Jahns, Chris Stuckman, they're already able to do that. So when it comes down to it, it's a situation that you can in fact look at it from different perspectives, either good or bad, where like I said, the bad is that this situation of super advanced screenings that are like 2, 3, almost 4 weeks in advance of the fucking movie coming out domestically across the entire United States kind of hurts the little man or the little woman who's trying to break out into YouTube and create these reviews for movies, only that because they don't have the proper resources to become part of the press and get these advanced screenings, they have to see it Thursday night, and therefore they're buried. They get muddled and buried by these bigger YouTubers that, again, it's not their fault, because this is what they're provided with, this is their livelihood, they're doing their job. But these studios putting out these screens so ahead, they're not noticing the slight ripple effect that it's having, because what they need to realize is that YouTube is it. At these days, at least. I mean, you could look at the newspaper, you could look at news networks having the little entertainment section where they kind of do like 2-minute reviews on movies, but YouTube is where it's at when it comes to reviews on movies now, because I feel like that's where the majority of the traffic is kind of ebbing and flowing when it comes to influence amongst the box office. And again, that's the negative side of things, but the more positive aspect of this entire situation is that people who are creative enough and have the passion and enthusiasm to try to do something different, which could be me, who knows, maybe I'll branch out and maybe not do movie reviews anymore and maybe try to tackle them from a different perspective. They get that influence, they get that push to say, hey, classic traditional and conventional movie reviews are not cutting it anymore, because that's what the bigger guys do. Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Jahns, Schmo Knows, whatever, that's what they do. I gotta try and do something different. And that's something that you often hear YouTubers tell you when it comes to becoming popular and growing a bigger subscriber base and getting those views, is to try to do something different that's gonna make you stand out. And maybe that's the push that we need, but for now, it creates that little man or little woman situation for some of us smaller YouTubers, and it sucks. And I just wanted to bring attention to that. I wanted to bring awareness to that it's a very shitty situation, because we love these movies, we want to be able to talk these movies, but at the same time, we want people to hear our voices and our opinions so that we can have that collective debate. So let's go ahead and have that debate in the comment section below. Do you think that this is a situation that is present? Do you think that it's mostly negative or mostly positive, or do you think that it has equal measure on both sides, in which we have this good situation for really creative people, but at the same time there's no getting around that it shrouds smaller YouTubers that are trying to branch out? And I understand that this is a motivation to kind of be something different, but I'm simply bringing up awareness to the fact that it just sucks. And it's a shitty situation, and it's one that I'm hoping that many of us, including myself, will be able to overcome, but it's there, and I'm bringing awareness to it. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think of this little situation. Make sure you like and share this video to support it, and of course support my channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Until next time, guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at DarkSpiderDavid to know more about what goes on in my head fully uncensored, kind of, sort of, sporadically. And I'll see you guys next time on the next video. Take care.